I'm James Bruce, you're watching Couple of Bricks, and in today's show I wanted to do a review of Welcome to Apocalypseburg, set number 70840. It consists of 3,178 parts and when fully built measures just over half a metre tall and around 40 centimetres at the widest point. It is an epic, unique model that I consider to be essential to my collection. It's no longer available to buy officially, however you will still find them floating around used or new for around $400 to $500. So this is the biggest Lego set that I own, and I have to admit I fell in love with the whole style and theme of Apocalypse Lego from the Lego Movie 2. And this of course is just such an iconic scene from the movie that I wanted it to be sort of the focal point of my own Apocalypse display. And as well as just buying the set because it's awesome, I also wanted to learn some of the techniques that they've used to try and emulate that sort of style on my own builds. The build process, as you would imagine on a model that is both angled down the middle and with lots of different bits sticking out here and there, along with a lot of snots, is incredibly complicated. We managed to finish this about in a week. That was with myself, my wife, and my 5-year-old son. We were doing evenings mainly, so it took us about a week to finish this. It's certainly not an easy build by any means. However, there are sub-assemblies that you could get young children to do, but the main bulk of it is obviously one for adults. One thing I thought was really quite interesting is that in the structure of this model, on the base specifically, there's a bunch of rare colors that go into it. Like when I opened this bag, there was a color of pink I've literally never seen in Lego before. And it's just hidden there underneath the base. You can't see it because it's all been covered up by base plates. Now it does make the build process a little bit easier in that it's easier to follow the build guide in the manual when you've got those distinct, unique colors. However, I can't help thinking they could have done that with more common colors like bright red or bright blue rather than super rare pink. Anyway, without further ado, let me give you a tour of the model, an overview of the play features and some of those cool details. Let's jump right in. So firstly, it has a huge number of exclusive minifigures. There's 12 in total. They're not all exclusive, but that's certainly more than most sets, even of this size. Most of those have alternate faces too, and really unique printed pieces on them. So Batman here, he is very similar to the other Lego Movie 2 set where he has his little sort of raised seat thing. His cape's in tatters and he has these neat shoulder pads, of course. Something you've probably seen before, I think, this style of Batman. Harley Quinn, accurate to the Suicide Squad version, not much else to say about her. She has this awesome baseball bat. She's a bit of an odd one out in this model, I think, but anyway, she's cool. Then there's the Green Lantern, also from the DC universe. Meh, doesn't do much for me, but does have one of these cool shoulder pads. Then we have the Where's My Pants guy. Obviously, he doesn't have any pants, and he has these metal shoulder armor plates, just like sort of Elvis hair, and he has an angry and a happy face. Very nice. Then we have Scribble Cop with his leather jacket and trousers and alternative Scribble angry face. Then we've got Chainsaw Dave, the surfer dude. Now the set comes with some surfboards, you can see those later, but Chainsaw Dave also has some neat tattoos and of course his cool chainsaw. Then there's this one called Mohawk, which seems to be based off one of the Fury Road female characters. It's a really cool model. I think she's holding a spiked mace here, but it's not entirely clear what that is. Still, very cool model, very cool facial detailings. Next up, we have Larry the barista. He runs the coffee shop. Another one with a mohawk, but Larry's gas mask is really neat. Love that. And there's a spare in the set, so you can use it, make your own extra apocalyptic people. Then we have Roxy. Just seems like a sort of generic apocalypse lady. Very nice. And then we have Fuse with an awesome welding mask. He does have a single-sided face though, I guess because he's supposed to be wearing this mask all the time, and there would be no way to hide the other side of his face. Lastly, we have Emmett and Lucy. Now obviously those aren't exclusive to this set. You'll find them in many of the Apocalypse sets, but you'll also find a load of spares left over at the end for building the people, which you can then of course go on and build your own Apocalypse style people. And if you got desperate for some more mohawks and other hairstyles, there's some hidden inside the rooms, which unless you're going to light them up, they're pretty much hidden away. So I think you could take those out and use them really. So starting at the top here and working our way down, you'll find the flame of the torch with a little lookout platform there. It's actually pretty solid. You can pose your minifigures on here. The construction of the flame is really incredible. Love the detailing on that. Then you'll find there's ladders moving all the way down to the base of the model, a couple more lookout points along the way. But for now, let's move on to her head. This is probably one of the best parts of the model, really. Just the way they've constructed the head using these little sausages for the eyebrows. Very cool. The top of her head detaches to reveal a very tiny little secret snug hideout along with a bed and a telescope and a Where's My Pants poster. Really nice use of the different shade of greens to show the sort of aging of the metal. So moving around to the front of the model, we've got 3 levels of rooms available. On the very top of the stack is Lucy's hideout with a pretty cool chair on the roof, and there's a love letter from Batman hidden under her bed along with some posters, some other cool stuff. Again, really love the way that they've actually managed to angle this and secure it to the base. And then on the next level down, you'll find the armory and a tattoo and barber shop. So inside the armory, you've got helmets and weaponry on sale, a full set of samurai armor. Then over in the tattoo parlor, there's some of these dead robot heads with a mohawk, which I mentioned earlier you could take off and use, I guess, build minifigures out of those. I really love this chair though, something right out of a starship. And the little tattoo, what's it called? The little tattoo inking pen thing machine right next to it. Outside on the balcony of that, there's some newspapers for sale, and there's another alternative entrance just on the right here. Presumably he uses this meat cleaver and ice chopping gadget thing to chop hair with. Finally, on the lower level, you have a coffee shop, and I guess it's a jail cell or Scribble Cop's converted police station. The coffee shop has 2 types of coffee on sale. One that seems to be a sort of filthy poisonous motor oil, and one much more expensive that's probably real coffee. There's also rat meat on sale, and outside I love the use of old tires as a makeshift stool, so that's neat. There's also random sort of spinning tire on the top here. I don't quite get that, but whatever. And then before we get to the jail cell, this speaker tower outside kind of annoys me. It just clips on here and it's angled, and then it sits at attention, not on a stud. It just feels wrong. Inside the jail cell, there's actually very little except for this one play feature here, which is a chair that you can launch by pressing that little pipe outside. Cool. Then if we carry on going around to the side of the model, this is Batman's merchandise shop. There's no interior for this. One of the windows has been smashed out, which I thought was kind of cool. And you'll find parts of his car above, as well as boxes of Bat merchandise that no one wanted to buy. Really like the way they've made a sort of open cardboard box here. Just above that, there's also a little workshop with a tool chest workbench and some tools on the side. And that then leads up onto the ladders that you can climb the whole statue with. So then moving around to the rear of the model, we've got the brick square gym, and on top of the gym there's a little rooftop cafe, a greasy cafe. Very interesting parts usage for the fries or the chips if you're English. I don't know why anyone would eat a metal spear inside a bun, but okay, very cool. And the little printed fried egg that I've never seen elsewhere. Also really cool little mustard and tomato ketchup. So lifting that rooftop cafe off, we can then see inside the gym there's a weights bench and a little punching bag that looks like a Duplo Invader. So further moving to the side of that, we have a bath and a shower with some cool little features. There's a rubber frog and what's probably a sponge and soap. Very cool stuff. Again, this is made out of sort of the back of a truck. On the other sort of middle section of the model on the side, there's these 2 pizza ovens and a little hidden play feature which you can lift up. I think this is where the sewer babies come from, but you'll find another fried egg in there for some reason and a skeleton arm. Then moving around a bit more, you've got the signage and Lady Liberty's book with these posable fingers here, which is pretty cool, and some dodgy looking rickety stairs that lead up to it and onto the different levels of the stack. Oh, and to the side of that, there are the surfboards for Chainsaw Dave. along with, again, a sort of broken caravan that holds it all up. You can't really get into that. It's just a wall feature. And then you're also going to find this pitchfork and samurai sword. You know what? There are weapons hidden all over the model, just because, of course, at any point you need to be ready to fend off the invaders. All right, so let's just zoom out a bit and give you a more overall view. Loads of ladders everywhere, lots of piping and random spiky bits. So there you have it, an overview of Welcome to Apocalypseburg 70840. I am absolutely in love with this model. It's going to form a fantastic centerpiece for my display. And there's just so many incredible details around here and building styles that I'm going to try and emulate and build out from into a whole Apocalypseburg village, I guess. The only downside to this model, I think, is that it's the first Lego model I've owned that I feel like adding some lighting, some LEDs in is absolutely essential, because there's very little natural light that gets into these interiors, and yet there's so much hidden away inside of those interiors. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll like and subscribe to this channel for more reviews, Lego building tips, tours around my display, and more in future.